This is an interactive video lesson that will help you to improve the skill of understanding the basic principles of business plan development for a business in the CCs. Having this skill means that you are able to evaluate whether a creative business idea is realistic and sustainable, structure a business plan that clearly explains goals, operations, and finances, identify and analyze costs, income, and break-even points, use a business plan to support decision-making, funding, and partnerships. To develop this skill, we invite you to watch a short animation video, learn how to structure and plan a CC's business idea using basic business planning principles, and take a self-test exercise. Let us start with the basic understanding of what a business plan is. A business plan is first of all a way to check whether a business idea can realistically be implemented. It helps you move from an idea or inspiration to a structured evaluation. For cultural and creative studios, this step is extremely important because ideas are often emotionally strong, but not always tested in real market conditions. A business plan is also a document that brings together all key aspects of a project: what you want to achieve, how you plan to work, how your processes are organized, and how money moves inside the project. Finally, a business plan allows you to objectively evaluate your entrepreneurial activity. It supports informed decision-making, especially when you are considering investments, grants, or partnerships, and helps align your creative vision with market realities. Who actually needs a business plan? First, there are internal users. These are the people who initiate the business idea and those who are founding a new business. For them, the business plan is a tool for self-understanding. It helps clarify goals, structure actions, and realistically assess resources and risks. In cultural and creative studios, internal users often combine creative and managerial roles, so the business plan supports balanced decision-making. External users are those outside the business, such as potential investors, creditors, and partners. For them, the business plan is a communication tool. It explains what the project is about, how it will operate, and why it is worth supporting. In the cultural and creative sector, a clear business plan helps build trust and credibility, especially when working with partners or applying for funding. A business plan serves several important goals. One of its key purposes is strategic development. It helps you see where your business is going in the long term. Planning is another essential function, as it allows you to break down your idea into realistic steps. A business plan is also widely used to attract funding, such as grants, loans, or investments, because it shows that your idea is well thought through. In addition, it helps attract potential partners who want to understand how your project works. Finally, a business plan acts as a tool for control and management, allowing you to monitor progress and adjust your actions when needed, which is especially relevant for small creative studios. Every business plan begins with asking the right questions. The first question is about the problem you are solving. In cultural and creative sectors, problems may be related to access, expression, identity, or unmet cultural needs. The next question is why you are capable of solving this problem. This relates to your experience, skills, and creative background. You also need to clearly explain how your product or service addresses the problem in practice. Another important aspect is understanding what makes your solution better or different from existing ones. Finally, you must consider how your idea can become a reliable and profitable business, ensuring sustainability over time. A business plan usually follows a clear structure. It starts with a description of the business idea, explaining what the project is about. Market research and analysis help you understand your environment and audience. The marketing plan shows how you communicate your value. The operational plan explains how the business works in practice. Strategic planning provides a broader vision, while sections related to grant use are important when applying for external funding. The financial plan includes income and expenses, often projected over 12 months, and appendices provide additional supporting information. For creative studios, This structure ensures clarity without limiting flexibility. The operational plan describes how your business functions in everyday practice. It outlines what you want to achieve and the steps required to reach your goals. This includes how income is generated through sales and how different types of costs are managed. Fixed costs remain stable, while variable costs change depending on activity levels. Depreciation and taxes are also part of operational planning. For cultural and creative studios, this section helps connect creative work with realistic daily operations. At this stage, we focus on understanding costs. In business planning, costs represent all the resources you use to create and deliver your product or service. In the classical understanding, these include costs related to production and costs related to selling. Together, they form the full cost of your product or service. For cultural and creative studios, costs may include materials, tools, software, workspace, and professional services. Understanding full cost is essential because it shows the real price of your creative work, not only what the client sees. It is very important to distinguish between fixed and variable costs. Fixed costs remain the same regardless of how much you produce. Examples include rent, internet, or basic utilities. Variable costs change depending on your level of activity, such as materials or packaging. For creative studios, this distinction helps you understand which costs are unavoidable and which depend on the number of projects or clients. This awareness is critical for financial sustainability. The break-even point is a key concept in business planning. It shows the moment when your income equals your expenses. Before this point, the business does not generate profit. After it, each additional sale brings profit. For creative entrepreneurs, understanding the break-even point helps reduce uncertainty and supports realistic planning, especially at the early stages of a project. Calculating the break-even point allows you to understand the minimum level of activity required to sustain your business. It shows how much you need to sell or earn to avoid losses. For cultural and creative studios, this calculation is especially important because income is often irregular. Knowing this threshold helps you plan more confidently and avoid financial stress. The break-even point can be calculated in different ways. One option is to calculate it in monetary terms, showing how much revenue you need to generate to cover all costs. Another option is to calculate it in physical units, such as the number of products or services sold. These calculations help you translate abstract numbers into practical targets for your business. The financial plan describes how your project will be financed and how money will circulate within the business. It includes forecasts of cash flows, expected financial results, and basic financial reports. For creative entrepreneurs, the financial plan is not about predicting the future perfectly, but about understanding financial logic and making informed decisions.
Now we invite you to the quiz section, where you can test your knowledge by answering the following questions. Tick the correct answer. Regardless of whether you chose correctly or incorrectly, you will be given an explanation for the answer. Let's begin. That's all for this lesson. Thank you for participating. Follow the program in eStudio to deepen your key skills for entrepreneurship in the cultural and creative sectors. Upon successful completion of the course, you will receive the digital badge Success in CCS I Can Do It.